I got divorced this morning. This afternoon, a luxury gala. My 3 CEO brothers arrived with me in full glam. We secured 500 million on the spot. My ex-husband was speechless. The stupidest thing I have ever done in my life wasn't marrying that bastard, Lu Jingshan. It was spending those 3 years married to him, believing he was just a little short-tempered and sharp-tongued. And that deep down, he still cared. Until this morning, at the marriage registry in Central, Hong Kong, I watched him sign the divorce papers. With a faint relieved smile. That's when it hit me. For 3 years, I was nothing to him. Just a disposable placeholder. 9:17 a.m. The divorce was finalized. Lu Jingshan pocketed the divorce papers casually. He didn't even bother to look at me. His tone was like he was just terminating an expired lease. Shen Qingxi, the car's waiting for you outside. Get all your stuff out today. I'm changing the locks tomorrow. He turned and walked away the second he finished. The click of his leather shoes on the marble floor was sharp and fast. Like staying one more second was an insult to his entire existence. I just stood there, clutching that green divorce certificate. No tears. No screaming. I actually found it kind of ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous that the daughter of the Shen family, belittled for 3 years by a parvenu's son. I walked out the doors of the registry. Hong Kong's humid March wind hit my face. Barely oriented, when a black Maybach pulled up in front of me without a sound. The window rolled down. It was a Chang, my eldest brother Shenling Yuan's personal assistant. A Chang got out respectfully and opened the door for me. Mississippi. The eldest young master sent me for you. I got in. In the back seat, there was a brand new dress. And a document pouch. I opened it. Inside were detailed files on every company under Lu Jingshan's name. And an invitation to a high society gala at the peninsula tonight. My eldest brother never wastes words. When he wants something done, he paves the road for me and expects me to walk it. In the car, I skimmed the files, eyes locking on the key page. Lu Jingshan's company. 30% of his business relies on the supply chain support of Shen Group. And what he doesn't know is that his precious first love, Song Qingwan, that so-called building materials empire her family runs? Compared to Shen Group, it's not even pocket change. For 3 years, I played the dutiful little wife just to see exactly how stupid this man could really be. Now I have my answer. He's dumber than I thought. Sister Zhou waited in the yard. She saw me coming and her face twisted into a fake, simpering smile. Oh, the missus is back. The master said you should pack your things today. He's bringing Miss Song back to stay here tonight. I ignored her and went upstairs. The traces of 3 years of married life in that room were laughably scarce. My things barely took up a tiny corner. I pulled out my suitcase. I started packing my clothes, my movements unhurried and calm, almost indifferent. Sister Zhou followed me up. Leaning against the doorframe, she wouldn't shut her trap. Madam, don't blame me for saying so, but the master and Miss Song, they're a match made in heaven. There's no point in you clinging on here. Miss Song comes from money and power. Not like you. A nobody from nowhere. Was already punching way above your weight. I folded my last coat, put it in the suitcase, and zipped it shut. Only then did I look up and meet her eyes. Sister Zhou flinched under my gaze, caught off guard. I smiled faintly and said, "You're right. I really shouldn't stay here. But, Sister Zhou, you'd better pray Lu Jingshan never falls from grace. This kiss-ass job won't shield you." Sister Zhou's face tightened for a moment, but she quickly recovered. Her mean-spirited expression, snide and sarcastic, she shot back. "Oh, madam, what a thing to say. Sir's company is doing so well. How could it ever fail? But you, without the Lu family, I'm afraid you won't even have a roof over your head." I dragged my suitcase out of the room. As I passed her, I stopped and leaned in close. "Do you even know who supplies the goods for Lu Jingshan's company?" Sister Zhou froze in confusion. I didn't say another word. I grabbed my bag and left. A silver-gray Rolls-Royce was already waiting there. As the car door opened, my second brother, Shen Linchuan, was sitting inside. He wore a pair of gold-rimmed glasses and was flipping through a document in his hand. When he saw me get in, he took off his glasses and sized me up with a glance. His voice was a mix of heartache and fury. "You've lost weight. 3 years were hell." closed my eyes, and whispered, "Second brother. I'm tired." Shen Linchuan didn't say another word. He patted my hand as we drove toward bustling Central, HK, and stared out the window as the villa I'd lived in for 3 years. It shrank, then vanished. My phone buzzed in my hand. A message from Lu Jingshan. "Tonight. Don't forget to clear out all your stuff. Qingwan hates seeing traces of other people." I read it, then tossed the phone into my bag. A cold smile curled on my lips. "Lu Jingshan. You're about to find out real soon. Exactly who needs to be erased." My brother left me at the Regent Suite. My eldest brother, Shen Linyuan, and third brother, Shen Linzhou, were already waiting inside. The moment I walked in, Big Brother commanded by the window. "Tell Lu Jingshan this. Effective immediately, Shen Enterprises terminates all supply chain partnerships with Jingshan Industries. Pay the penalty at the highest contract rate. Shen can afford it. It's chump change." He hung up, turned around, and saw me. Pain flashed, then cold rage. Shen Linyuan, my eldest brother, the steely helmsman of Shen Enterprises, a business titan, eyed his sister. Seeing how badly I'd been treated, his aura turned lethally cold. Third brother, Shen Linzhou, shot straight up from the sofa. He was wearing a meticulously tailored black suit, a limited edition brooch pinned to his lapel. The whole picture screaming old money and style. He strode over, looked me up and down, his brow furrowed deeply. "Qingxiai, look at you. 3 years without a single decent outfit. Not even a watch on your wrist. That bastard Lu Jingshan, every month. He gave you a lousy 200 grand for housekeeping? 200 grand? What are we, beggars?" I couldn't help but laugh. Sure, 200 grand is a fortune to most people. But to the Shen family? It's not even pocket change. It's nothing. Third brother, who adores me most, saw my fake laugh. He yanked me into a fierce hug, his voice hoarse. "Stop it. Don't smile. It's worse than crying. Tonight's gala. I've got everything ready for you. You go dress up, and dress to kill. Show that blind fool Lu Jingshan." Exactly what he threw away. Big Brother ended his call and came over, stood right in front of me, and tilted my chin up with his hand. He scrutinized my face, his voice low and grim. "Qingxiai, at the gala tonight, Lu Jingshan is bringing Song Qingwan. Shen Enterprises will be making 3 announcements. First, cut all ties with Jingshan now. Second, Shen's 3 publicly traded companies. Seize Jingshan's entire supply chain. Third, the building materials contract with the Song family. Shen will cancel. We'll pay fines." Stunned. Big Bro, hit Song's family? Big Brother just gave a cold, cynical laugh. "Song Qingwan thinks her family is so rich and powerful, doesn't she? Let's show her just how far that so-called wealth and power of hers versus Shen. Worth a look?" Third brother pulled me further into the suite and pushed open a door. Inside was a temporary styling studio. Racks were packed with haute couture gowns. Jewelry, Cartier, Van Cleef Arpels, Harry Winston. Under the lights, the diamond's brilliance was so dazzling it was hard to keep your eyes open. Third brother took a gown from the rack. It was a haute couture evening dress in misty blue. The fabric was imported Italian silk satin, and on the skirt, thousands of Swarovski crystals had been hand-sewn. Under the light, it cascaded like a river of stars. He said, "This is Dior's unreleased fall-winter haute couture collection. I pulled it early. It's the only one in all of Asia." He then picked up a necklace from the jewelry counter. It was a Cartier Panther piece. 8-carat stone, diamond-paved chain. Under the lights, it flowed with a cold, sharp brilliance. Third brother placed the necklace in my hand and said, "Qingxiai. Tonight, Shen's daughter's show are not to be messed with by just anyone." I looked at my reflection in the mirror. 3 years. I had worn the plainest house dresses, barefaced and simple. Trapped in cold Lu Villa for 3 years. Lu Jingshan said I had no sex appeal. Said I didn't know how to dress up, said I was an embarrassment. Said being with me was a step down for him. But he didn't know. It's not that I didn't know how, I just chose not to. Played perfect wife quietly. Someday, he'd finally see my worth. Looking back now, I was such a goddamn fool. The stylist began working on my look. I closed my eyes, but my mind was racing a million miles a minute. Lu Jingshan's company. Expanding fast, thin capital chain. It's been completely propped up by Shen's supply chain. Shen pulls out, supplies dry up. He won't be able to fulfill his downstream orders. Fines bleed him dry. Plus, Big Bro buys his network. Forces him out. Song family? Their building materials business was entirely dependent on Shen to survive. Once Shen pulls the contract, the Song family stands to lose at least 30% of their orders. Song Qingwan thinks she's some high society heiress, right? Tonight, her elite family is finished. By the time I finished hair and makeup, it was almost 5 p.m. I stared in the mirror, barely recognizing myself. A mist blue gown clung to my body, sculpting every curve and cascading elegantly to my ankles. With every step, the crystals refracted specks of delicate light. My hair was styled up into a lazy, effortless bun, with a few loose strands framing my ears, making the line of my neck look long and flawless. The makeup was striking yet refined, cold and untouchable, radiating a chilling sense of detachment. I am a completely different person from that spineless, cowering woman who stood next to Lu Jingshan 3 years ago. Third brother stood behind me, watching me in the mirror. Red-eyed. That's my sister. Eldest brother stepped in, handing me a pair of crystal-encrusted Jimmy Choo stilettos. The heels looked fragile, but soles were custom cushioned. They won't hurt your feet, he said. Tonight, your brothers are walking in with you. My second brother, Shen Linchuan, adjusted his glasses, a gentle but deeply menacing smile playing on his lips. I just heard something. Lu Jingshan is already on his way to the peninsula. Song Qingwan is with him. Song Qingwan's outfit tonight? A red Armani gown. Plus a Bulgari serpent necklace. Total? About 8 million. He paused, looking at the Cartier Panther resting on my collarbone. His tone flat. That stone you're wearing? 8 carats. Eldest brother snagged it at Christie's last year, winning bid. 42 million. It's one of a kind. I said nothing. Just looked down at the necklace. The icy diamonds sat against my collarbone like a silent, polished blade. The car left Regent, cutting through Hong Kong's busy streets, heading straight for the peninsula. On the way, third brother took a call. When he hung up, his expression shifted into something unreadable. He turned to me. Qingxi, it looks like Lu Jingshan caught wind of Shen pulling the funding too. He's pulling strings to meet eldest brother. But Big Bro's ignoring him. Second scoffed coldly. Panicking now? Should have thought before playing the fool. I leaned on the window, neon lights blurring past. He doesn't think he did anything wrong, I whispered. He just thinks I'm scheming behind his back. He thinks I'm beneath him. Thinks that leaving him is my loss. Big brother glanced back from the front seat. His gaze was intense. Then he'll find out real soon who's actually the one taking a loss. The car rolled to a stop at the entrance of the peninsula. A long line of luxury cars was already parked out front. Men and women draped in couture were strolling inside in clusters. The hotel entrance had a red carpet, reporters on both sides. Cameras flashed crazily. This gala is the year's top event. In central Hong Kong. Half the elite are here. Big brother got out of the car first. He was wearing a deep navy Brioni bespoke suit. His commanding aura made the crowd instinctively back off. He turned around and reached out his hand to me. I took a deep breath, placed my hand in his palm, and stepped out in my crystal stilettos. The camera flashes instantly intensified tenfold. Reporters snapped wildly, whispers were deafening. Who is that? Who's that woman with Shen Linyuan? Oh my god, is that an unreleased Dior haute couture piece? That necklace? I saw it at a Christie's auction. The hammer price was 42 million. A sister of the Shen family? Doesn't the Shen family only have 3 sons? Second and third brother stepped out of the car too, flanking me on the left and right. The 4 Shen heirs standing together, our presence was so powerful that everyone else on the red carpet was forced to back off. I linked arms with Big Brother and walked the carpet to the entrance. The sound of high heels clicking on the red carpet was drowned out by the shutter sounds, but every single step felt like I was stomping on a certain someone's face. The second I walked into the ballroom, I spotted Lu Jingshan. He was standing in a corner on the east side of the hall, surrounded by a pack of people. He was handing out his business card, desperately trying to exchange contact info. He was wearing a black Tom Ford suit. His hair slicked back meticulously. The expression on his face had that desperate businessman's groveling eagerness. Clearly, he already got wind that the Shen family pulled the investment and is scrambling around to find new partners. Song Qingwan was at his side, wearing a fire-red Armani gown, cut obnoxiously low at the neckline. Around her neck, she had on a Bulgari serpent necklace, and she was clutching a Hermes crocodile skin Birkin. She was dripping in tacky jewels, but the look on her face was filled with that unmistakable, smug sense of superiority. She was clinging to Lu Jingshan's arm, leaning in to whisper something in his ear every so often, laughing like a hyena, playing the manners hostess. Lu Jingshan seemed to sense something was off. He looked up, his eyes drifting toward the entrance. The moment his gaze landed on me, his entire body froze as if he'd been cursed. His eyes widened. His jaw dropped in shock. Then from shock to utter disbelief, he stared at me for a solid 5 seconds, as if trying to confirm whether this dazzling, radiant woman was really the same frumpy housewife he'd divorced just this morning. Song Qingwan followed his gaze. The smile on her face froze the instant she saw me. In its place was a twisted mask of jealousy and unease. Her hand, hooked around Lu Jingshan's arm, tightened involuntarily, her nails practically digging into the fabric of his suit. Arm in arm, I smiled faintly. My second and third brothers flanked me on either side. The four of us moved in perfect sync, our footsteps on the marble floor echoing like a silent war drum. The people around us stopped their conversations, all eyes swiveling toward us. The entire ballroom fell silent for a few seconds, then erupted into even louder murmurs. Aren't those the 3 Shenairs? Who's the woman in the middle? I heard she's the Shen family's youngest daughter. Abroad all along, never in HK. Wait, didn't I hear she got married? Yeah, a small building supplier. That small-time contractor. Wait, is that Lu Jingshan? The one standing over there? Oh my god. And the woman next to Lu Jingshan, isn't that the Song family's daughter? This is so messy. What a tangled web. I stopped right in front of Lu Jingshan, barely 6 feet away. From this distance, I could see his eyes red, mouth twitching, his hands clenching, unclenching, then clenching again. His eyes lingered on my face for a few seconds, then traveled down, taking in my necklace, my gown, my heels, before finally sliding back up to my face. His Adam's apple bobbed. His voice was rough, scraping like sandpaper. Jingxi, you. How are you? I tilted my head slightly, my tone as casual as commenting on the weather. Mr. Lu. What a coincidence. Didn't expect to see you here. Mr. Lu. Those 2 words were like a knife, plunging straight into his chest. The color drained from his face. His lips moved, but no words came out. That's when Song Qingwan. And just like that, she snapped back to reality. She clung to Lu Jingshan's arm, tipped her chin up at me. Her jealousy turned to pure mockery, her voice sharp, like nails on a chalkboard. Well, if it isn't Mrs. Lu. Oh wait. I mean, the ex-Mrs. Lu Qingxi. How on earth did you get in here? An invitation to this kind of event isn't something just anyone can get. Don't tell me you snuck in as someone's plus one? Her eyes swept over me, pausing for a beat too long on the necklace around my throat. A flash of greed and envy sparked in her eyes, but she quickly buried it, replacing it with a look of sheer condescension. That outfit you're wearing has got to be a knockoff. This Dior piece hasn't even been released yet. You can barely find a decent fake. Where did you dig that up? I didn't say a word, just smiled back at her. My third brother, Shen Linzhou, let out a quiet laugh from behind me. It wasn't loud, but it was perfectly pitched for everyone around us to hear. He stepped forward, towering over Song Qingwan with a domineering gaze. His tone was nonchalant but laced with venom. Miss Song, that Armani you're wearing, isn't it from last year's fall collection? And that Bulgari serpent necklace is from the year before. On the second-hand market, it's lost 30% of its value. As for that Birkin on your arm, he paused, his smile dripping with suggestion. A Hermes crocodile Birkin. The pre-spend ratio is 1 to 1.5. To get your hands on that bag, You must have really begged your daddy hard. Song Qingwan's face went crimson. Her lips trembled with rage, speechless. My third brother was notorious in Hong Kong fashion for his sharp tongue. If he decided he wanted to eviscerate someone, he could make them wish the floor would swallow them. Lu Jingshan finally found his voice again. He took a deep breath, fighting to keep his expression calm. But the panic in his eyes was impossible to hide. He looked at my eldest brother, Shen Linyuan, with a forced, measured calm in his voice. President Shen, regarding Shen's pullout of their investment, I believe there may be some kind of misunderstanding between us. Jingshan Industries has worked with the Shen family for 3 years, without a single issue. For Shen to suddenly and unilaterally terminate our partnership, it's a loss for both sides. I'd like to sit with you, President Shen, and talk it through. To see if this can be salvaged. My eldest brother glanced at him. The kind of look you'd give an ant just before you crush it. He said it like cold, hard fact. No misunderstanding. And there was zero room for negotiation. The Shen family doesn't do deals that hemorrhage money. I know Jingshan's financials for 2 years. A broken capital chain isn't a risk, it's an inevitability. Pulling out now cuts our losses. Then he finished. He didn't even give Lu Jingshan a second to process the blow. He just turned and headed straight for the main table at the gala. Lu Jingshan's face went ashen. Instinct made him reach for Big Brother's arm, then stopped. His hand hung. He looked at me, pleading. Something I'd never seen before. Qingxi. Please. Just say something. Jingshan Industrial. It cannot survive without the Shen family's backing. You're my ex-wife. Can't watch me fail. I stared. 3 years, his coldness made me invisible. He loathed me, said I wasn't fit for public. He likely celebrated the day we divorced. And now here he was, standing in front of me, groveling. I felt absolutely nothing. Actually, no, it was just pathetic. I looked him dead in the eye, and every word I said was a slow knife. Lu Jingshan, what did you say to me this morning when we signed the papers? You told me the single biggest regret of your life was marrying me. That I was beneath you. That being with me was settling. So tell me, right now, why the hell should I lift a finger for a man? Who told me I wasn't good enough? Song Qingwan couldn't hold it in any longer. She ripped her hand out of Lu Jingshan's grasp, and jabbed her finger in my face. Shen Qingxi, stop the drama. Who do you think you are? You're nothing but some distant relation to the Shen family. You're just riding their coattails and throwing your weight around. Let me tell you something. Jingshan Industrial doesn't need your precious Shen family. My family, the Songs, can handle it. Jingshan, don't beg her. Dad's connections find another supplier. Lu Jingshan's expression turned even more mortified. He glanced at Song Qingwan, looking like he wanted to say something but just couldn't, like scolding a child. He knew the truth. That the Song family, in front of the Shens, wasn't even pocket change. The second the Shen family pulls out, the scraps the Song family can offer won't save Jingshan. Right then? The evening's host took the stage. A HK business titan. At the mic. Smiled, gave remarks, then shifted gears. Mentioned the Shens, exciting news tonight. Got a huge announcement to share with everyone. 3 subsidiaries under Shen Group have just completed. Hong Kong's building material supply chain now fully integrated. From today, 60% of HK's building supplies will be controlled by Shen Group. The moment those words landed, the whole room erupted into chaos. Lu Jingshan's face drained completely of color. He whipped his head toward me. His eyes filled with pure shock and utter despair. 60% of the market share. That means Shen Group, with just a flick of a finger, could cut off every single supply line to his company. His mouth opened and closed, wanting to say something, only to find he couldn't utter a single word. I stood my ground, watching Lu Jingshan's world crumble before him. There was no vindictive thrill left in my heart, just a calm sense of finality. 3 years ago, I married him with pure sincerity, wanting forever. I buried my identity as the Shen heiress, suppressed every ounce of my edge, and learned how to be the soft, dutiful wife. I cooked, I cleaned, wore no makeup, and even shopped exclusively at discount malls. Scared he'd think I was high maintenance. What did I get? He called me frumpy. Said I was an embarrassment to be seen with. Said I was completely useless to his career. He paraded around town with Song Qingwan on his arm, telling anyone who'd listen that his wife was just some homemaker who couldn't do anything but chores. He even brought Song Qingwan back to our house, right in front of my face. With his arm around her waist, he said, "Qingwan is worth 10 of you." Even in divorce, he humiliated me one last time, saying I'd never be fit for high society. What he never knew was that the high society he worshipped was literally my front door. Shen Group. Top 5 HK empire, ruling real estate, finance, materials, and tech. Assets over $300 billion. My eldest brother, Shen Linyuan, the man at the helm of Shen Group, ranked in the top 50 on the Forbes list. Second brother, Shen Linchuan, founder of the largest law firm in Hong Kong, the man holding half the city's business lifeline. Third brother, Shen Linzhou, the top-tier investor in Asia's fashion scene, commanding the most elite global fashion resources. And me? Shen Qingxi, the baby sister they treasured and raised like a princess. The legally designated third-largest shareholder of Shen Group, with trust funds alone worth over 20 billion in my name. For 3 years, I disguised myself as someone ordinary, loving someone completely unworthy, like a pathetic fool. Looking back now, it's laughable. Utterly laughable. The second bombshell of the gala. Announced by my eldest brother, voice deep and commanding. Ladies and gentlemen, he cut through the ballroom. I'll take this opportunity to announce, on behalf of Shen Group, a decision. All subsidiaries under Shen Group will, effective immediately, permanently cease all business dealings with Song Building Materials. Shen Group will pursue Song Building Materials for all financial damages resulting from breach of contract, no less than 3 billion. Shock rippled through every single pair of eyes. Swung to Song Qingwan. Song Qingwan's face went ghost white. Her champagne flute shattered on the floor with a crash. Smashed to pieces. Amber liquid splattered all over her red gown. Utterly pathetic and humiliated. Frantically, she fumbled for her phone, trying to call her father. Her hands trembling so badly she could barely hold it. Lu Jingshan stood right beside her, but didn't lift a finger to help. He just stared blankly at my brother on stage, his eyes hollow, like a drowning man. A 3 billion penalty. Can the Song family even afford that? Of course not. Song Building Materials' total assets barely scrape past 5 billion. A 3 billion payout would cripple them, bankrupt them outright. And the trigger for all of this? Nothing more than Song Qingwan stealing the Shen family's son-in-law. No, not stealing. Scavenging trash the Shen family threw away. I watched Song Qingwan stumble and bolt toward the exit. In my heart, there was zero sympathy. For the past 6 months, she knew full well Lu Jingshan had a wife, yet paraded around with him publicly, posting couple photos on social media, hashtagging. She looked me right in the eye, tugged on Lu Jingshan's arm, and cooed darling at him. Then she'd play fake close, all big sis this and that. She even trashed me in front of Lu Jingshan. Said I wasn't good enough, a gold digger punching above my weight. Well, now she gets to taste the price of reaching above her station. Lu Jingshan's phone rang at that exact moment. He glanced at the caller ID, and his face fell. Fumbling, he picked it up. On the other end was his CFO, loud enough for me to hear, President Lu. Sir, since Shen pulled the funding, all 3 suppliers just cut us off. 5 of our biggest clients downstream are also calling to pull out. They said the Shen family put the squeeze on them. Our cash flow is totally dead. Banks demanding immediate debt restructuring. If we don't come up with the 3 billion in 3 days, they're seizing all company assets. Lu Jingshan gripped his phone, his hand shaking uncontrollably. He opened his mouth to say something, but the line was already dead. And then the second call came in. Then a third, a fourth. His phone was buzzing like it was possessed. Each call drained more color from his face. By the end, he couldn't even stand up straight. He was leaning against a pillar, gasping for air. His eyes reddened, tears threatening to spill. But he stubbornly held them back. He looked up at me, his lips trembling, his voice so hoarse I could barely hear him. Qingxi, are you really just gonna watch me burn? We were husband and wife, for God's sake. Have you no mercy at all? I looked at him dead in the eye, and said, slowly, Lu Jingshan, you remember? Last winter, I called you with a 104 fever. You said, you were with Song Qingwan, at a jewelry show. You told me to get a cab to the hospital myself. I was so delirious, I drove myself to the ER. I almost crashed the car. When you finally came home, you didn't even ask if I was okay. You snapped at me for blowing up your phone, said I was being a child. Lu Jingchen's lips moved a little, but no sound came out. I kept going. Do you remember the year before that? My birthday? You promised you'd take me to dinner. I waited 4 hours at the restaurant. You finally texted me, saying you went to Macau with Song Qingwan. Business. Told me to just eat alone. So I sat there by myself, watching the candles on the cake burn out, one by one. I was sobbing, and after? You never said happy birthday. I stopped, took a deep breath, and swallowed the lump in my throat. My voice was perfectly calm. Lu Jingchen. All the good I gave you. You've used it all up. It's time to pay the price. Lu Jingchen's tears finally fell. He gasped silently, like a fish on a dock. He reached out to grab my wrist, but I stepped back. I dodged his hand. It hung there in the air, frozen for a few seconds, before falling limp at his side. And right then, Song Qingwan came rushing back. Her eyes were red, fresh from a call with her father. Her voice was shrill and thick with tears. Lu Jingchen, my father said. The Shens are suing us. 3 billion. We can't afford that. This is all your fault. If it wasn't for you, the Shen family would never have targeted the Songs. As she screamed, she hammered her fists against Lu Jingchen's chest. Her nails left scratch marks all over his suit. Lu Jingchen just stood there frozen, letting her hit him. The expression on his face was dead, lifeless, like a walking corpse. A crowd gathered around them, pointing and whispering, muttering. Some people were recording it on their phones. Some gossiped, others watched with gloating satisfaction, and a few wore pitying looks. But not a single person stepped in to help. In this circle, kicking the fallen is normal, helping in crisis is rare. Lu Jingchen crossed the Shens. He's completely lost his footing in Hong Kong's business world. No one would ever offend a behemoth like Shens. For a small company that's destined to collapse. My second brother, Shen Linchuan, came to my side. He handed me a glass of warm water and murmured, Qingxi, that's enough. Let's go. I took the glass and sipped. The warm liquid slid down my throat, chasing away the last chill deep in my bones. I handed the glass back to my brother, and took one last look at Lu Jingchen. He was slumped on the floor, his suit crumpled, his tie askew, his hair a mess. A complete and utter wreck. Song Qingwan stood beside him, still wailing nonstop, the pair looking like a theater of the absurd. I pulled my gaze away, turned and walked to the gala doors. My eldest and third brothers were already waiting for me. Third brother pulled the door open. The noise and chaos of the gala faded behind us. We stepped out of the peninsula. The Hong Kong evening breeze, heavy with the salty scent of the sea, hit my face. I took a deep breath. For 3 years, that crushing weight on my chest had finally been lifted. Third brother draped a coat over me, pulling the collar close. His voice was laced with concern. Cold? I shook my head. The corner of my mouth curved up. It was the first real, a genuine smile in 3 years. My eldest brother stood by the car, his gaze soft on me, then reached to open the door. Get in. Mom and Dad are waiting for you at home. I froze for a second. They know? Second brother walked over, a rare smile on his face. What do you think? When Mom found out you wanted a divorce, she was so furious she smashed the vases in the living room. Said she was going to deal with Lu Jingchen herself. Dad stopped her. He said, let your eldest brother handle it. I ducked into the car. The engine started up. We pulled away slowly from the peninsula. I leaned back in my seat. I closed my eyes. 3 years flashed by. The first time I saw Lu Jingchen was at a friend's party. He was wearing this white suit, with a great smile, so gentle and charming. I thought I found the one, married in 3 months. Only after the wedding did I realize all that tenderness and charm was only because he had no idea who I really was. He thought I was just some girl from an ordinary family that I'd married up. So he had no problem humiliating me, tearing me down, cutting me deep. He paraded Song Qingwan right in front of me, flirting with her in front of my face, simply because he thought. No connections, no support, swallow every hurt. And just take it. He never knew that every single time he hurt me, he was digging his own grave. Today, the grave's finished. Time for him to jump. The car pulled up in front of the Shin mansion. It's a standalone villa at the peak of Victoria Peak, spread over 5,000 square meters. The car barely stopped. Mom ran out in slippers and hugged me. I've missed you like crazy. That bastard. Did he hit you? Did he yell at you? Look at you, you're nothing but skin and bones. My dad stood at the door. He didn't come out, but I saw him turn his back and lift a hand to wipe his eyes. My 3 brothers watched from the yard. No one said a word. Eldest brother handed my mom a tissue. His voice steady. Mom, stop crying. Jinxie's home now. No one will ever bully her again. I held on to my mom, breathing in the familiar scent of her osmanthus perfume. And finally, I couldn't hold back the tears anymore. 3 years. In the Liu household, I couldn't cry. I wasn't allowed to cry. I had to swallow every bit of pain and force every tear back down my heart. Now, I can finally cry. My mom patted my back, crying and cursing at the same time. That low-down, rotten Liu Jingshan. I told you he was bad, but you married him. Are you happy now? Look what you've put yourself through. My dad finally came out. His face stern as he said, enough. Stop crying. Let's go inside. He glanced at me, his eyes red-rimmed. But his voice was a forced calm. Jingxi, Dad made you some soup. Your favorite, lotus root and pork rib soup. I wiped my tears and walked into the mansion with my mom, smiling. Living room lit, table full of treats. My dad's soup was still steaming. Just like 3 years ago, I sat down. I was sipping the soup my dad made, listening to my mom go on and on trashing Liu Jingshan. My 3 brothers sat nearby, throwing in the occasional comment. The whole vibe was so ridiculously warm. After the soup, my mom went to make up my bed, and my dad disappeared into his study. So, it was just me and my brothers in the living room. My eldest brother sat across from me, holding his tea, his tone flat, but brooking no argument whatsoever. Jingxi, there's a building materials subsidiary under Shin Holdings. I've been looking for someone to run it. Are you interested? I froze up. Me? But I have 0 experience. He just looked at me. Experience can be learned later. You're a daughter of the Shin family. You have business instinct, plus backup. Fear what? With that, my second brother adjusted his glasses and smiled. I'll handle all the legal stuff. My third brother leaned in. I'll take care of branding and image. I looked at my 3 brothers. Heart sun glowing. I nodded. Deal. 3 days later, Liu Jingshan's company officially declared bankruptcy. When I got the news, my new office, Shin Tower, 68th floor. Monitor, latest company figures. I'd barely slept a wink those past 3 days. I devoured every single file I could get my hands on. Absorbed all knowledge. Brother was right. Business acumen is in the Shin's blood. I just never wanted to use it before. Doesn't mean I didn't have it. It took me just 3 days to map out the entire corporate structure. All the financials, the full operational layout. And I put together a detailed, comprehensive restructuring plan. Sent to brother. His reply, 1 word. Solid. But I knew the weight behind that 1 word. It was his stamp of approval. Shin Linyuan doesn't throw out compliments. Him saying solid means it's genuinely brilliant. Meanwhile, Song building material stock had, in those same 3 days, plummeted 60%. Over 3 billion in market value, evaporated. Song Qingwan's father, Song Guoyang, sobbed in front of the cameras, crying about how the Shins were ruthless bullies. He threatened a monopoly lawsuit, swore to fight us to the death. Obviously, a dying man's futile plea. The Shin family legal team, handpicked team led personally by my second brother Shin Linchuan, the sharpest commercial litigators in all of Hong Kong. Those bargain basement lawyers Song Guoyang hired? In front of them, they're not even qualified to speak. Meanwhile, Song Qingwan took to social media. She posted a long, tearful essay online, swearing she was innocent, claiming she never wrecked anyone's home. She accused the Shins of a personal vendetta, and attached a photo. Her eyes were red and puffy. Commenters mostly cursed her. Homewrecker got what she deserved. When I scrolled past her post, I paused, then swiped it away. She's not worth a single second of my time. The messages from Lu Jingshan, on the other hand, never stopped. First, he called me. And after I blocked his number, he started texting. One after another. From I was wrong to go to hell. His tone got more pathetic and hysterical with each message. The last text came in last night. Just one line, Qingxi, I regret everything. I read it, deleted the thread, and blocked. His number. Regret? Too late. In this world. Once you lose some things, they're gone. Some chances are gone forever. My kindness. He used it all up, and there's none left. Today's Friday. By the time I got off work, the sky was already dark. I stood by the floor-to-ceiling windows in Shan Tower, watching the 10,000 lights of Hong Kong. I suddenly remembered that naive girl from 3 years ago, who thought marrying for love was the endgame of life. And that giving your all to someone would earn you the same in return. Looking back now, how childish. Love isn't everything in life. And marriage isn't a woman's only salvation. Shen Qingxi doesn't need to cling to anyone. She is her own rock. I grabbed my bag from the desk. I stepped in and pressed ground floor. As the elevator descended, my phone vibrated. It was a message from my big brother, come home for dinner tonight. Mom's making dumplings. I smiled and typed back one word, okay. I walked out of Shan Tower. A black sedan pulled up right in front of me. The driver opened the door for me, and I got in. The car merged into Hong Kong's night lights. My phone buzzed again. This time, it was a message from an unknown number. I opened it. It said, Shen Qingxi, it's Lu Jingshan. I got a new number. Just to text you. I know you don't want to see me. But I just need to say one thing. I'm sorry. I know those words are worthless, but I still have to say them. Thank you for showing me just how stupid I am. I read the message, was silent for a few seconds, then. I blocked this number too. And that's sorry? Hard pass. Lu Jingshan. You don't need to apologize to me. You should be thanking me. I'm the one who taught you your place in the world. The car climbed Peak Road, Hong Kong glittering below. A river of stars below, I sank into the leather seat. A slow smile curving my lips. My new life started today. As for Lu Jingshan and Song Qingwan? They're just a tiny footnote in this new chapter. Turn the page, and they will never be remembered again. The car stopped at the Shen mansion. I stepped out. When I heard laughter floating from inside, my mother's, and my third brother's boisterous voice, I pushed open the door. The smell of dumplings hit me instantly. My mother, in an apron, poked her head out of the kitchen. Qingxi, you're back. Wash up, dumplings are ready. Third brother sat on the sofa, holding a gift box and waving it at me. Qingxi, come check this out. See what I got you. I walked over and opened the box. Inside was a Van Cleef Arpels Alhambra bracelet. White golden diamonds, simple, yet exquisite. Third brother grinned. A little gift for your new job at Shen Corporation. From now on, you're a corporate boss lady. Second brother emerged from the study, a document in hand, and gave it to me. This is Shen Building Materials Legal Compliance Handbook. I compiled a copy for you. Have a look when you get home. My eldest brother came down the stairs. He glanced at me, his tone flat. Let's eat. The family gathered. Steaming hot dumplings billowed white clouds of vapor. My mom kept piling food into my bowl. Dad had 2 rare glasses of wine. My brothers chatted and laughed. The atmosphere was almost absurdly warm. I bit into a dumpling, chive and egg. My favorite as a kid. 3 years. It had been 3 years since I'd tasted this. In my 3 years with the Lu family, I woke up early every single day to make Lu Jingshan breakfast. I tied myself in knots learning all his favorite dishes. But he never, not once, asked me what I liked to eat. He didn't even know I was allergic to chives. One time I broke out in hives all over my body after eating them. He called me dramatic. Just some chives, that serious? I swallowed the dumpling in my mouth, my eyes burning, but refusing to let any tears fall. The past is the past. From this day forward, I live only for myself. After dinner, my mom pulled me to the sofa to chat, asking about the company. If the work was hard, if anyone was giving me trouble. I said no. My eldest brother had it all arranged. Only then did she relax. She then started rambling about Lu Jingshan's affairs again. His company went bankrupt, banks chasing debts. How he doesn't even have a place to live now. She said he's been crashing on a friend's couch. And I could hear this vindictive satisfaction in her voice. But then, she sighed. She actually felt sorry for him. How did a promising young man end up here? I didn't say a word. Looked at the four-leaf clover bracelet, third brother's gift. Diamonds sparkled. No, he's not pitiful. We all walk our own path. We all make our own choices. You reap what you sow, it's karma, plain and simple. The next day was Saturday. I let myself sleep in for once. When I finally woke up, it was almost 10. Sunlight was slicing through a gap in the curtains, painting a golden line across the floor. I just lay there, listening to the faint sound of voices downstairs. The past 3 years felt like a nightmare, and I was finally awake. My phone buzzed. A text from the company's vice president. An urgent situation that needed my immediate attention. I jumped up, washed up, got dressed, and 20 minutes later, I was striding into my office at Shen Tower. The VP, Ms. Lin, is a sharp, capable woman in her 40s. She handed me a document, her expression grim. Ms. Shen. Even though Jingshan Industries is bankrupt, minor shareholders under Lu Jingshan are uniting. They threaten to sue for anti-competition, demanding 50 billion. I flipped through the file, scanning it quickly. A cold smile playing on my lips. Anti-competitive? Lu Jingshan must be truly desperate. Trying to start a media war. I closed the file and turned to Ms. Lin. Get second brother's legal team on the phone. Have them draft a formal legal opinion. Pull the entire paper trail of Shen's divestment and every relevant contract clause. Get it all in order. Prove every operation was strictly legal. Also, tell PR to prepare a statement. If he actually dares to file the suit, Shen will countersue for defamation and malicious prosecution. We'll seek damages for no less than 100 billion. Ms. Lin blinked, then broke into a grin. Understood. She turned to leave, but I stopped her. One more thing, Ms. Lin. What else is going on with Lu Jingshan? Who's he been meeting with lately? She paused, thinking. Word is, he's been talking with an investor named Zhou Mingyuan. This guy, Zhou Mingyuan, seems to be in private equity. He's got some capital. And he's looking to pick up the pieces of Jingshan Industries. Zhou Mingyuan. I let the name echo in my head for a moment. Pulled out my phone. Hong Kong's new financial whiz. Made his name with a few high-profile scores these past 2 years. He's been making waves in the finance circle. Rumor has it, he's got serious backing from mainland capital. Gotta hand it to Lu Jingshan for tracking him down. But I'm not worried. Here in Hong Kong, there's nothing the Shen family can't handle. I grabbed my phone and called my older brother. After hearing my report, he paused for a few seconds and said, this Zhou Mingyuan guy. I've heard of him. Very aggressive style. Loves picking up trash and calling it treasure. That dumpster fire, Jingshan Industrial. If he wants to take it over, that's his call. But we'll keep doing what the Shen family does. Follow market rules. He can take the business. But he can't touch our connections or resources. My brother made it crystal clear. The Shen family isn't targeting anyone. We're just doing what needs to be done. But if someone wants to block our path, we won't be polite about it. I hung up. I stood by the floor-to-ceiling window, taking in Hong Kong's skyline. Gorgeous sun, sky so blue. Skyscrapers gleaming in the light. I reached out my hand. Sunlight streamed through the glass, warm against my palm. My phone buzzed again. This time, a news alert. Jingshan Industrial's former CEO Lu Jingshan spotted in Central. Allegedly meeting with a mystery investor, a potential comeback? I read the headline and let out a little laugh. Slipped my phone back into my pocket. A comeback? Lu Jingshan, you're giving yourself way too much credit. At 3 p.m., tea with clients. At the Peninsula. These guys are the top dogs of the industry in Hong Kong. Sitting on mountains of orders and resources. They used to work with Jingshan Industrial. After it collapsed, their supply chain was cut off. They desperately need a new vendor. Shen Building Materials is the obvious choice. I wore a white Chanel jacket, paired with black wide-leg trousers, hair down. Minimal makeup. The whole look screamed sharp and elegant. All 3 clients were men in their 50s. Battle-hardened by decades in the business world. Sharp as hell. At first, they looked down on me, this Shin family princess. Figured I was just a little girl riding on her family name. But after half an hour, their tune completely changed. I spent the whole afternoon presenting our company's competitive advantages and resources. I laid out our future strategy, clear as day. It wasn't just a generic pitch, I tailored it. I gave each client a custom plan with full data. I had every single contract clause memorized, every single one, and all those legal compliance manuals my second brother gave me. I practically memorized most of those, too. Mr. Chin put down his cup and stared at me. His tone was openly admiring. Miss Shin, no. President Shin. Honestly, before I came, I was worried. You were just a figurehead. Now, I see you're real. Tougher than your brother. I smiled, raising my cup. Mr. Chen, you're far too kind. I'm merely doing what's necessary. By the time afternoon tea wrapped up, all 3 clients had signed letters of intent. Deal exceeded 80 billion. VP Lin stood aside. Stunned. She whispered, President Shen. You were incredible. Those 3 clients, when they worked with Jingshan Industries, their combined annual orders barely hit 5 billion. I offered a small smile, but said nothing. That's the prestige of the Shin name. It wasn't my brilliance. The Shin platform is simply vast enough, with resources deep enough, that as long as I'm willing to use it, there's nothing I can't achieve. After seeing the clients off, I stood at the peninsula entrance, waiting for my car. At that moment, a silver-gray Porsche pulled up right in front of me. The window rolled down to reveal an unfamiliar face. A man in his early 30s. Sharp features, cynical, reckless eyes. He wore a dark gray Zegna suit, and on his wrist, a Patek Philippe. His whole aura screamed old money bored with everything. He looked at me, a faint, almost mocking smirk playing at the corner of his mouth. Shen Qingxi. I've heard so much about you. I'm Zhou Mingyuan. I froze for just a second, then my expression smoothed over. I offered a polite smile. Mr. Zhou, your reputation precedes you. He gave me an overt once-over, his gaze pausing on my 4-leaf clover bracelet. And then he said, Miss Shen. Lu Jingshan came to see me. He wanted me to take that Jingshan Industries mess off his hands. Now, I'm a man who just loves picking up other people's trash. Just to flip for a win. But after today, I've changed my mind. I arched an eyebrow. Oh? And why's that? Zhou Mingyuan broke into a grin. That smile, it was loaded with unreadable intent. Because I get the distinct feeling that crossing the Shen family would be an enormous headache. And I hate headaches. So, Lu Jingshan's little problem? It's none of my business. I'm out. Window rolled up. The Porsche vanished into Hong Kong. I stared in the direction where the car disappeared. A strange feeling lingered in my chest, but I pushed it down quickly. By Monday morning, Lu Sudshen. It trended. Every major media outlet was covering it. The comment section split into 2 camps. One side was calling Lu Jingshan shameless. The other side said Shen was a corporate bully, too big to care. Shen's PR department reacted fast. By 10 a.m., a sharp statement. They laid out the entire process of Shen pulling its investment. Legal grounds shown. Announced. A countersuit against Lu Jingshan. Suing for defamation, seeking 100B. My brother wrote the closing line. Since its inception, Shen Group has always adhered to a philosophy of lawful and compliant operation, respecting the rules of the market and the spirit of the contract. For any act that maliciously smears Shen's image or harms Shen's interests, Shen will resolutely deploy all legal means to fight back. Zero tolerance. Public opinion flipped. Those who were just cursing Shen's name suddenly shut up. More and more people began digging up dirt on Lu Jingshan, dragging out his history with Song Qingwan, to publicly flog him all over again. I sat in my office, scrolling through the comments online, my expression calm. Lu Jingshan wants to play a PR war? Fine, let's play. But I won't be a hysterical mess, crying my heart out like him. I'll use the coldest, most rational, most legally sound way to crush him. VP Lin entered, holding a new document. President Shen. Good news, HK Building Materials notice. They're revoking Lu Jingshan's membership. The reason cited is severe regulatory violations. In the course of his business, damaging the industry's reputation. I took the document, glanced at it, and smiled. The chairman of the Hong Kong Building Materials Association is an old family friend of the Shens. I didn't tell him to do this. Lu Jingshan brought this on himself. He got used to throwing his weight around the industry like a kingpin, defaulting on supplier payments, exploiting staff, cutting corners. They knew. No one popped the bubble. Now that the Shen family has declared all-out war on him, the association is naturally riding that wave to clean house. When the wall is falling, everyone gives it a push. That's the truth. I guess Lu Jingshan's getting a real taste of that now. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I got a call from an unknown number. When I picked up, his voice was raspy and wrecked. Like a man who hadn't had water in days, trembling with despair. Jingxi, please, just stop. I know I screwed up. I shouldn't have treated you that way. I shouldn't have been with Song Qingwan. I was wrong. Be the bigger person, okay? Spare my life, I am begging you. I've got nothing left. No company, no house. No money, not even a friend to call. Jingxi. Can you watch me die? I held the phone, silent. The sunlight was beautiful outside, falling right on my desk. Bleaching all the documents white. Lu Jingshan just kept crying on the other end. Kept begging, his voice fading lower and lower, breaking into pieces. I took a long, deep breath and said, Lu Jingshan. You're not going to die. You're barely 30, perfectly healthy. And you're not stupid. A fresh start? It's not impossible. But remember one thing. From now on, you take the sun, I'll take the dark. There's nothing left between us. Don't beg. And you don't get to hate me. Because as of today, your life has nothing to do with mine. I finished what I had to say. I hung up the phone and blocked that number too. Lu Jingshan's tears. Lu Jingshan's pathetic pleading. Lu Jingshan's bitter regret. From this moment on, none of it concerns me anymore. After I hung up on Lu Jingshan, I watched the sunset from my desk. I felt a void inside, but it wasn't sadness. It was just an indescribable sense of release. 3 years ago, I was obsessed with him. I thought he was the best. Now, it was just my fantasy. The dream's over. And life goes on. My phone buzzed. A text from third brother, saying he was going out tonight. A new Japanese place opened in Causeway Bay, he wanted me to try it. I texted back sure, shut down my computer, and grabbed my bag. I walked out of the office. By the time I stepped out of Shen Tower, it was already dark. Hong Kong's nightlife was just getting started. Neon lights, traffic, and crowds everywhere. The city bubbled like boiling soup. I was standing at the curb waiting for a car. A black Maybach. A car pulled up. It was my eldest brother. He glanced at me and just said, "Get in." Inside, my second and third brothers sat. We're already in the car. Third brother flashed a grin and said, "That Japanese place? I invest. The chef's from 3 Michelin stars, I guarantee you'll love it." Second brother adjusted his glasses and said, "After dinner, let's grab a drink in LKF." Big bro smiled silently. That was his way of saying yes. The car merged into traffic, through HK streets to Causeway Bay. I leaned back in my seat, watching the neon nightscape pass by. A sudden, overwhelming feeling swelled in my chest. 3 years ago, for a man, I gave up everything the Shen family had to offer. I dimmed all my light and turned myself into a dusty, worn-out housewife. I thought that was love. I thought sacrificing myself was noble. I thought swallowing my pride would buy me happiness. Looking back now, it's absolutely ridiculous. Love doesn't make you abandon yourself. It doesn't leave you crying alone in the dead of night. Real love pushes you to be a better person. Not someone you can't even stand to look at in the mirror. The car stopped at the base of a skyscraper in Causeway Bay. Third brother led us up to the penthouse. The design was minimalist, but every detail screamed money. Natural wood tables, warm amber lighting, and a faint scent of sandalwood in the air. A 60s Japanese chef saw third bro. He smiled, bowed, and greeted us in Japanese. We were seated in a private room. The window. Facing Victoria Harbor, stunning views. Third brother ordered a feast. Bluefin tuna belly. Hokkaido uni, A5 wagyu, truffle steamed egg custard. All the most expensive items. Eldest brother shot him a look. His tone perfectly flat. Are you treating Qingxiai to dinner? Or trying to bankrupt me? Third brother just smirked. Bro. You've got wealth beyond measure. Relax. I watched them bicker, a warmth spreading through my heart. Second brother sat beside me, pouring me a glass of sake. He said softly, Qingxiai, it's been a tough few days. But you did amazing. Better than I ever imagined. I lifted my glass, clinked it against his, and said, second brother. Thank you. Without you guys, I don't know if I could have made it through. He shook his head. Don't say that. You're a daughter of the Shin family. That fire is in your blood. Even without us, you would have found your way out. It was just a matter of time. I took a sip. The sake was crisp, a faint rice sweetness. Smooth sip, warm. Dishes arrived. Each dish artful. Third bro started talking business. He said Shin's brand needed a revamp. He'd already contacted the best international PR team. He's setting up a whole new brand IP. The eldest brother listened nearby and occasionally inserted a word to give some advice. Second brother, from a legal point of view, analyzed some potential risks and warned me to be careful. That single meal didn't just fill my stomach. I learned so much. After we finished, my third brother suggested hitting Lan Kwai Fong for drinks, and, shockingly, my oldest brother agreed. The four of us walked out of the Japanese food store in the direction of the elevator. When the doors slid open, there was one person standing inside, wearing a black trench coat, holding a coffee in his hand, staring down at his phone. He looked up, saw me, paused for a split second, then smiled. Miss Shin. We meet again. Zhou Mingyuan. I froze for a moment, then returned a polite, controlled smile. Mr. Zhou. What a coincidence. Zhou Mingyuan's gaze swept over me, landing on my three brothers behind me. He gave a slight nod. Shen the eldest, Shen the second, Shen the third. An honor. My oldest brother just stared at him and said flatly, Mr. Zhou. The honor is mine. Zhou Mingyuan smirked, stepped out of the elevator, and brushed right past us. He came out of a distance and suddenly looked back at me and said something completely out of the blue. Miss Shen. I told you. I washed my hands of the Lu Jingshan mess. But I never said I'd stay out of yours. With that, he turned and left, leaving me standing there, frozen for several seconds. My third brother sidled up, all gossip. Qingxi, who was that? He's into you, huh? I shot him a withering look. Third brother, can you decorate your mind with something serious? Third brother, hey smile. It's normal for my sister to be so outstanding and have suitors. But that Zhou Mingyuan, I've heard of the new rich in Hong Kong's financial circles. Hundreds of billions. He's barely qualified for you. My second brother adjusted his glasses, his tone dead serious. Zhou Mingyuan's background is complicated. The capital behind him comes from the mainland. Who is it? That's still murky. Qingxi, stay the hell away from him. Eldest brother didn't speak, just looked at me in the eyes. There was something I couldn't quite read. I pushed all thoughts of Zhou Mingyuan out of my head and followed my brothers to Lan Kwai Fong. The nightlife there was wild. Music was blaring inside the bars. And everywhere you looked, young faces and the reek of alcohol. We found a quiet, laid-back speakeasy, ordered 2 bottles of whiskey, and settled into a corner booth to talk. After a few drinks, my third brother just wouldn't shut up, going on and on about some model who's ghosting him lately. Bitching about a brand he invested in tanking at Paris Fashion Week. He ran into this designer he absolutely loathed. Second brother finally relaxed, took off his glasses to wipe them, revealing those deep, intense eyes of his. He looked out at the Lan Kwai Fong nightlife and just said, Qingxi, you know what? The day you got divorced, Big Brother slapped his desk so hard, it cracked. I turned to look at Big Brother. He was holding his glass. Deadpan, said, "Nonsense." Third brother immediately sold him out. "No, no, it's true. I saw it with my own eyes. That rosewood desk cost a fortune." And Big Brother just cracked it with one slap. His secretary was terrified to even step inside. Big Brother glared at third brother, who went silent instantly. He just buried his head in his drink. I laughed till my eyes reddened. That's my family. They'd never say it out loud. But deep down, they love me more than anyone. After the drinks, it was past 1 in the morning. Big Brother called a driver to take us back to the peak. The car sped through the night, the Hong Kong skyline blurring past the window like a liquid painting. I leaned back in my seat and drifted off into a haze. In my dream, I saw myself from 3 years ago, in a white wedding dress, smiling like a fool. I wanted to run and tell her, "Don't do it. That man is worthless." But the dream me couldn't hear a thing. She was holding on to Lu Jingshan's arm, walking into the marriage registry. I tried to chase her, but my feet felt like they were nailed to the ground. I couldn't move. The anxiety had me drenched in sweat, and then I suddenly heard a voice calling my name. "Qingxiai, wake up. We're here." I snapped my eyes open, and saw third brother's face inches from mine, looking worried sick. "Bad dream? You were talking in your sleep." I sat up, rubbed my eyes, and said, "I'm fine. Just dreaming about the past." Got out, walked in. Mom was already asleep. A small nightlight glowed warm yellow in the living room, like a single star in the darkness. I went upstairs, back to my own room, took a shower, and changed into my pajamas. Fell into bed. The chandelier on the ceiling was faintly visible in the dark. I stared at it for a long time, my mind a chaotic mess of everything swirling around. Lu Jingshan, Song Qingwan, Shen Building Materials, Zhou Mingyuan, all these names, spinning like a carousel in my head. I rolled over, buried my face in the pillow, and breathed in deeply. My mom had put a lavender sachet on my pillow. The faint scent slowly unwound my nerves. Exhaustion hit me hard, and I closed my eyes. For the next month, I poured every ounce of my energy into the Shen Building Materials empire. Out before dawn, back after dark, working weekends too. If not buried in reports, I was hustling clients. Vice President Lin said I was like a wound-up machine that never tires. I told him it's not that I don't get tired, it's that I don't have the time for it. Shen's company, while holding a certain market share in the industry, stuck with an outdated brand, narrow product lines, and old marketing, versus top global brands. The gap was massive. My job was to close that gap in the shortest time possible. The first thing I did was gut the product line. I axed over a dozen underperforming series, channeling all our resources into 5 core product lines. From design to production and sales, I personally oversaw every single detail to ensure top-notch quality, flawless design, and reasonable pricing. The second thing was a complete overhaul of our marketing system. We scrapped the traditional offline sales model for a new retail strategy integrating both online and offline channels. At the same time, we poured money into the brand image, hiring a world-class ad agency to roll out a comprehensive branding campaign. The third thing was streamlining the supply chain. I brought in a brand new ERP system to connect purchasing, production, inventory, and logistics into one seamless flow, boosting efficiency. Sounds simple, but the execution was a logistical nightmare. That whole month, I practically lived at the office on 4 to 5 hours of sleep. All my meals were just takeout boxes at my desk. I ran VP Lin ragged. She worked late every night. I heard her tell our colleagues privately, "Shen's killing herself working with her. This month is more than I did all of last year." But the results were undeniable. A month later, Shen's monthly sales figures had surged 40% year-on-year, and profits skyrocketed 60%. 3 of our 5 core product lines sold out completely. Customer satisfaction surveys showed our overall client approval rating jumped from a miserable 75% to a stellar 91% at the monthly management review. After I finished my report, My eldest brother cracked a rare smile and said, "Not bad. Keep it up." Our third brother started needling him, "Just not bad? What good is that, big bro? You've got to give Qingxi a bonus." The eldest brother just stared him down. He said the bonus was already wired. I froze for a second. Pulled out my phone, checked my bank balance. 50 million. Just sitting there. I looked up at our eldest brother. He took a slow sip of tea, his face unreadable. "Your commission for the month." Third brother leaned over to look. 50 million? He practically shouted. "Bro, you're cheaper than I thought." Qingxi's pulled in. "At least $500 million for you, and you give her 50 mil? Second brother drawled from the side, "That's just her commission. Annual bonus excluded." Third brother nodded. "Yeah, that's more like it." I smiled and took the money. But my mind was already spinning, figuring out how to use it. 50 million isn't that much to me. But this was the first money I'd ever made with my own skills. That makes it different. I decided to take 20 million and donate it to charities here in Hong Kong, to help women who were just as helpless as I was 3 years ago. The remaining 30 million, I put into a trust fund. For my future self. When my mom found out, she held me and sobbed. "My daughter's all grown up. So mature." My dad stood by with a stern face and said, "Only 20 million? You should have donated all 50. I just smiled. "Dad, next time I'll make more. I'll donate more." Over the next month, the name Lu Jingshan slowly vanished from my life. No more texts. I stopped checking his updates. If gossip about him reached my ears, it was in one ear and out the other. Didn't let it touch me. I heard his lawsuit against the Shen family was thrown out of court. Insufficient evidence. I heard the banks blacklisted him. No more flying, no high-speed rail, no 5-star hotels. I heard he moved to some ancient walk-up in the new territories, renting a shoebox, barely 200 square feet, riding a bike to his odd jobs every single day. And Song Qingwan? She cut him off completely. The Song family, to pay the 3 billion penalty to Shen Corp, sold off every property and asset in their name. The whole family slunk back to the countryside. Song Qingwan posted one last update on her social media. Just one line, "Everything is my fault. I'm sorry to everyone." And then she just disappeared. Never updated again. When I heard all this, I was going over paperwork in my office. VP Lin finished telling me, watching my face carefully, terrified I'd be heartbroken. I looked up, perfectly calm. "VP Lin, take these documents to legal for review. If there are no issues, we sign tomorrow." Lin took the file, hesitated a moment. Still, he couldn't help but ask, "Shen, don't you feel heartbroken?" I smiled wryly at him. "Heartbroken over what? The past is the past. You've got to look forward." Lin stared at me for a few seconds. Then he grinned. "Shen, you're the toughest woman I know." I smiled silently. Maybe. But only I know the truth about this past month. How many nights I stared at the ceiling until dawn. How often I sat numb on the balcony at night. How many times I saw her in my dreams. That girl in the white wedding dress. It's not that I'm not devastated. I just made the choice not to let the devastation control me. Lu Jingchen already stole 3 years of my life. I won't let him take another second. As the days rolled by, Shen building materials kept rising. In month 2, sales skyrocketed another 30%. Profits surged 40%. The third month, we secured the supply deal for HK's biggest project. Total value, over 20 billion. This project, it should have gone to giant Saint-Gobain. But we snatched it. When news broke, the entire Shen Tower erupted. Colleagues burst into spontaneous applause. Even my stoic eldest brother, who never cracks a smile. We popped champagne. At the party, my third brother, flushed, hugged me and said, "Qingxi, you know what? The guys from Saint-Gobain called me. They wondered who this dark horse was." I said, "That's no dark horse. That's my little sister." I laughed and pushed him away. "Third brother, you're wasted." He shook his head, slurring, "Not wasted. I'm perfectly clear-headed. Qingxi, from now on, don't call me third brother. I'll call you third sister." I smiled. My second brother approached, pulled third brother aside, and said to me, "Chingxi, someone's here to see you." I followed second brother's gaze and saw a man in a deep navy blue suit, standing at the entrance of the ballroom, holding white roses, smiling at me. "Zhou Mingyuan." I froze for a second, then walked right over. Zhou Mingyuan handed me the flowers and said, "Congratulations, Shen. A $20 billion deal. Biggest news in HK construction." I took them, offering a politely measured smile. "Mr. Zhou, what brings you here?" Zhou Mingyuan replied, "I came to say thank you. Last month, I turned down Lu Jingchen's investment request. A lot of people called me crazy. They said Jingshan Industries was bankrupt, sure. But the tech team was still there. The brand value was still there. I could have flipped it for a fortune. But after seeing Shen Building Materials performance figures today, I knew I made the right call back then. Being a friend to the Shen family is way more profitable than making an enemy out of Lu Jingshan." I looked at Zhou Mingyuan. His eyes held a sincere look. It didn't seem like he was lying, but I still kept things at a polite, professional distance. "Mr. Zhou, Shen Building Materials owes its growth to support from many people. Partnerships must go through proper channels. If you're interested, you can have your team schedule a meeting with VP Lin. We can all sit down and talk." Zhou Mingyuan smiled. That smile carried a hint of admiration. "CEO Shen, you're even tougher than I thought. I'll schedule it." He left, then glanced back. "CEO Shen, the white rose means I'm worthy of you. Not a line. My truth." I watched him go, stunned. A wry smile. The party ended. Late into the night, my big brother drove me home. In the car, uncharacteristically, he was the one to bring up Zhou Mingyuan first. That man, Zhou Mingyuan. I've had him looked into. His financial backing comes from Huaxing Group, in the mainland. Huaxing Group's boss is named Zhou. That's his father. Zhou Mingyuan is the trust fund prince of Huaxing Group. He's estranged from his dad, went solo. Runs a PE fund in HK. Doing well. I absorbed his words silently. My brother glanced at me. His tone was detached. That guy? He's definitely got the skills and the ambition. But his character? That's something only time will tell. Chingxi, you can do business with him, but keep your distance. I nodded. I know. We arrived at the Shen mansion. He hesitated, wanted to speak. In the end, he just said, "Chingxi, don't push too hard. Take care." "Got it, big brother. You get some rest early too." Relieved, he drove off. I stood at the entrance of the mansion, watching my brother's car disappear into the night. My heart was full of warmth. This is my family. No matter how high I soar or how far I go, my family is my strength. I entered. Mom sat in the lit living room. She had a magazine in her hand. When she saw me step inside, she put it down and stood up. "You're back. Hungry? There's porridge in the kitchen. I'll go heat up a bowl for you." I caught my mom's hand. "Mom, I'm not hungry. You should get some rest." She gave me a long look. Tears welled up. "Chingxi, you've lost weight." I pulled her into a hug. "Mom, I'm fine. I'm really good." My mom patted my back, said nothing, and disappeared into her room. I took the white roses Zhou Mingyuan had given me, and arranged them in a vase on the windowsill. Moonlight slipped through a gap in the curtains, catching the petals, making them glow with a soft light. I lay in bed, just staring at that bouquet. Zhou Mingyuan's words replayed in my head. "White rose, I'm worthy." I smiled. I rolled over and closed my eyes. Worthy or not? That's not his call. It's mine. Shen Qingxi doesn't need anyone to complete her. She's a whole damn circle on her own. Life rolled on. The map of Shen Building Materials just kept expanding. Month 4. We swallowed the third largest building materials firm in Hong Kong, Huaxing Materials. Our market share jumped from 60% to 75%. By month 5, we smashed our way into the Southeast Asian market, locking down multiple major projects in both Singapore and Malaysia. Month 6, Shin Building Materials Annual Revenue. Broke 80B, profits over 12B. Unrivaled king of HK construction. This year, I'm 31. 3 years ago. Despised wife, bullied, mocked. Even as she was being tossed aside in a divorce. 3 years later, I am the president of Shin Building Materials. The youngest female CEO in Hong Kong's commercial circles. 80 billion in annual revenue, right in the palm of my hand. Standing at the very top of the city's corporate pyramid. And Lu Jingshan? He's stuck in a dead-end factory job. Earns 20K, can't pay rent. Tried a new business, failed. But no one would lend him a cent. Not a soul. Wants to partner with him. Nobody believes him anymore. Lives in a 20 square meters rented room. Drinks, stares, cries to sleep. Wakes up, and goes right back to the grind. I heard all of this while sitting in my office. In the middle of signing a $5 billion contract. When VP Lin finished the report, she searched my face. And asked, very carefully, President Shin, would you like to go see him? I set my pen down. I glanced at Vice President Lin, smiled, and asked, why would I? Vice President Lin said, after all, he's your ex. I kept signing. Without even looking up, I said, what's past is past. Whether he's doing well or not has nothing to do with me. Vice President Lin was silent for a few seconds, then smiled. Miss Shin, you're absolutely right. I signed the last document, closed the folder, and stood up. I viewed Hong Kong's night from the window. A million lights flickered, starlight dazzling. I looked at the city lights, feeling no emotion whatsoever. Lu Jingshan was just a brief interlude in my life. It passed, and it's over. He won't be remembered again. My phone buzzed. It was a message from Zhou Mingyuan. Miss Shen, are you free this weekend? Dinner? Let's discuss a deal. I smiled and replied, okay. Zhou Mingyuan quickly sent another message. It's not a business dinner. It's a formal date. I smiled again. Fine. Breeze flowed in. Salty harbor air met me. Looking at the city lights, a slight smile curved my lips. A new story is just beginning.